Welcome to Evolving Into Her. I'm Ashley Hope, and this is your weekly check-in to get out of your head, into your body, and back into alignment with the version of you who's already living the vision. So grab your favorite cup of tea, settle in, and let's get into the show. Hey girl, hey, welcome back to yet another episode of Evolving Into Her. I'm your host, Ashley Hope, aka your bestie in your head, aka your favorite spiritual homegirl, aka your favorite cousin on the IG side of the family, okay? And today we're opening up a brand new series called Get Out of Your Own Way, Sis. And I'm so excited about this one because getting out of your own way isn't theory for me. This is a very lived experience. I don't just talk the talk, baby. I have walked the walk over and over again, many, many times. It's actually been the story of my own evolution this year and last year. But the more I coach and teach and talk with y'all, the more I see how many of us are in the same place. We're not fighting something outside of us. We're stuck, or we're in the positions we're in because we keep standing in the middle of it, overthinking, overmanaging, second guessing, delaying, self-sabotage, playing small, trying to do everything and calling it balance. And I say we because I've done it too. This year especially taught me how subtle self-interference can be. You can be productive, healed, disciplined, and still be the main thing in your own way. Like you are your biggest op. All right. So this series is a space for honesty. Y'all know I'm not a fan of self-criticism, of judgment, of guilt. So this series is really designed to just bring you some awareness, because once you can see the patterns clearly, you can start changing them with intention. So over the next few weeks, we're going to talk about all the different ways we can get in our own way, from perfectionism to avoidance, self-sabotage, over-explaining, saying yes when your spirit is literally screaming no, quieting that inner mean girl that lives in your mind, etc. And by the time this series wraps, my hope is that you'll not only see what's been blocking you or where you've been blocking yourself, but you'll know how to step aside and let peace, ease, and alignment take the lead. All right, so let's start with where this all began for me at the top of 2024. But first, get comfortable, grab something that you can sip slow, and let's get into the show. Okay, so at the top of 2024, I had one of those no more moments. I realized I've been waiting for the perfect version of myself to finally arrive before I took the next step. And I kept saying, once I heal this, once I feel more confident, once I get more clarity. And God was like, or you could just move now, sis. So I made a decision. I decided I was done waiting. I can't wait for every limiting belief to dissolve. I can't wait until fear dissipates, if it ever does. I can't wait until the path looks neat and predictable. I can't wait to heal the inner child. I was committed to getting out of my own way now, so I can still do the work, still show up, still walk in purpose while I grew. And I meant it. So much so that I got on social media and I made a public declaration because I needed accountability. I didn't want it to be a quiet, personal note in my journal. I wanted this to be real. And from that day on, I showed up differently. I said yes to things that stretched me. I stopped dragging my feet on what God told me to do. I started trusting that obedience would build the confidence that I kept waiting around for. And truthfully, that decision changed me. Not overnight, but gradually. I learned that growth doesn't always feel glamorous. It's not always Instagram worthy. Sometimes it feels like early mornings. Sometimes it feels like uncomfortable choices. Sometimes it feels like reminding yourself why you started. And not going to lie, sometimes it feels like, God, I'm tired of this. This is too hard and I'm finna quit. There were times where I felt overwhelmed, times where I felt defeated. And there were times where I felt like I got knocked down and I had to dust myself off and keep going. Shout out to Aaliyah. Dust yourself off and try again. Okay. That's what my life was looking like these past 2 years, baby. I was tired, frustrated, all the things. Okay. I had so many conversations with my friends, with my sister, with my honey, lots of bench sessions. And I'm grateful for them because they never judged me. They were never like, girl, we are tired of hearing about this. They held space for me and gave me space and time to feel the feelings. And I had a lot of conversations where I was like, this is hard, but I know it's worth it. I know the Ashley on the other side of this is rooting me on, cheering me on. She's so grateful I did the work. And as the version of Ashley, 2 years from the time I made that declaration, I am indeed grateful for her. I'm grateful for her showing up. I'm grateful for her dusting herself off and getting up again and again. I'm grateful for her having faith. I'm grateful for her looking out for this version of me because we are living a beautiful life, a soft life, a slow life, an intentional life. And over these last 2 years, I realized that getting out of your own way isn't just one big decision. It's a daily practice. Because every time you say yes to what scares you a little bit, sis, you're moving out of your own way. Every time you stop explaining yourself and just stand on what you know to be true and you stand on business, you're moving out of your own way. Every time you rest instead of overproducing, rushing, you're moving out of your own way. Every time you speak up instead of shrinking, or you finally finish something you started, baby, you're moving out of your own way. That is you evolving. And that's why this series means so much to me, because I know how many women are sitting right in that tension, right? Where you're doing well, but knowing there's another level waiting. You know, God has more for you. You know, your life can be bigger, more expansive, more juicy, more fulfilling. And you know, deep down inside that, yeah, there are some seasons where you're fighting unseen forces outside of you. But for the most part, baby, you're the op. Okay. When you say those prayers and you ask God to reveal what's stopping you or to reveal your ops, baby, he's going to turn that mirror to you. And he's going to be like, sis, it's you. There's no opposition out there outside of yourself right now. It is you. Okay. You just need a little more permission to take the limits off of yourself. So that's what we're doing over the next few weeks. We're naming the patterns. We're owning the habits. We're learning how to stop standing in the way of what we've been praying for. Because sis, the woman you're becoming, she's already ready. She just needs you to stop hesitating. And when I say get out of your own way, what I really mean is to notice where you're creating resistance without even realizing it. So maybe it's the way you overthink everything before you take a step, or how you keep reworking the same idea because it's not quote unquote perfect yet. Hello, pot, meet kettle. Okay. Maybe it's procrastination, and that shows up as I'm just waiting for the right time. Or it's people pleasing, where you keep saying yes when your piece is begging you to say no. Maybe you're a girly who stays constantly busy so you don't have to sit with your thoughts for too long. Maybe you like having control so much that you end up managing things that were never your responsibility. For some of us, it's unrealistic expectations and thinking everything has to happen fast or look flawless. For others, it's the way we talk to ourselves when we mess up. That inner critic, that inner mean girl that's so familiar, we don't even notice her anymore. And as we navigate this series, just know everything is not going to apply to you. Some things may apply to a past version of you, something you've already healed. So my main point here is to take what resonates and leave the rest. Take the meat, spit the bones. Okay. So over the next few weeks with this series, we're really just going to talk through many ways, many common ways that women get in their own way. Some of these ways are subtle. Some of them are sneaky. Okay. Some of them look like discipline, but they're really fear in disguise. So we're just bringing awareness. And remember, I said awareness is a beautiful gift. Awareness is healing. And then we're making small shifts, sustainable shifts, practical shifts that create real change. So there's no pressure here. There's no shame. There's no guilt. There's no self-judgment. We're just being honest, and we are deciding to grow. We are deciding to do better, be better, choose better, move differently. Because once you can see how you've been getting in your own way, you can finally decide to move differently. And that's where things start to get really, really good. So before we move any further in this series, sis, set an intention for yourself. Nothing complicated, just something that feels good to you. And I want you to ask yourself, what do I actually want this season to bring me? Not the version you'd post about online, but the real one. Maybe you're craving peace. Maybe you want to stop overthinking every next step. Maybe you just want to feel more at ease being who you are. And whatever that is, hold that close as we walk through these next few weeks together. And take the pressure off yourself. This series isn't meant to make you feel like you have to overhaul your entire life. You can come back and revisit the series over and over again in different seasons of your life. You don't have to rush your growth. You don't have to perform your healing. We don't do none of that over here. I'm just asking you to pay attention and to be honest about what you notice. And every week we'll touch on a different pattern, the ways we can trip ourselves up without even realizing it. And each time I want you to take what you need and leave what you don't. Some weeks will land deep. Others might just give you language for something you've been feeling, and both count as progress. Okay. So today, give yourself permission to take your time with this. Listen back if you need to. Write things down when they hit. Notice the subtle ways you're already shifting, all the ways you've already healed certain patterns. And through this work, I hope you start to see that you're not waiting on a new version of yourself to appear. You're already becoming her. You've already been doing the work. All right, sis, that's where we'll pause for today. This was just the opening conversation, a chance to slow down, check in, and set the tone for everything that's coming next. As you move through this week, I want you to pay attention to the small things, okay? The thoughts that try to talk you out of what you know, the little ways you might overcomplicate something that could actually be simple. Again, don't judge it, just notice it. That awareness alone is powerful. And every time you notice yourself stepping out of an old pattern, even in the smallest way, sis, that is growth, okay? That's evidence you're already getting out of your own way. So take a breath. Show yourself some love this week and give yourself credit for doing the work, even the quiet work that nobody sees. I'll see you next Sunday for our Sunday coffee chat, and then next Tuesday for the first episode in the Getting Out of Your Way series. Bring your journal, bring your honesty, and bring that beautiful open heart of yours. We've got a lot of good conversations ahead. And remember, sis, your evolution is already unfolding. I'm Ashley Hope, and you've been listening to Evolving Into Her. Thank you so much for being here with me. Thank you for choosing her, for choosing yourself. And until next time, stay in devotion to your becoming.